I'm pleased to have with us Dr. Daniel J. Benny, who is a professor at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University worldwide and holds Embry-Riddle's Security Discipline Chair. Dr. Benny holds 2 master's degrees, one in aeronautical science from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and the other in security administration from Norwich University. He completed his doctoral studies in criminal justice with Capella University. Besides his academic accolades, Dr. Benny is also board certified as a certified protection professional and professional certified investigator by ASIS International. He is also a certified fraud examiner and a certified member of the American Association of Airport Executives. He is a pilot and the owner of a Cessna 172. Dr. Benny, welcome.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Dr. Benny, would you please tell us what is the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association's Airport Watch program, and what is it that you think makes it effective as a security program?
Well, the AOPA Airport Watch program came about after the terrorist incidents in September 11th. Initially, the focus was on commercial aviation because the hijackers had hijacked commercial aircraft. And then a week or so into the incident aftermath, it was determined that they had trained at general aviation airports for some of their flight training. And so there was this hue and cry from the public, from the media, and the legislators of how safe is general aviation security. So the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association decided to be proactive and try to put a program in place that would ensure the safety of general aviation, make the public feel safe, the legislators feel safe about general aviation in the United States, and also to head off any mandates by the federal government that would impose, perhaps security restrictions that couldn't be met or that would be cost prohibitive by general aviation airports. So what AOPA did, they just took what was successful in the past in our communities, the Community Crime Watch program, and they put that in place at an airport. The basic concept was to state that we have an airport watch program, which they named, to put signs up identifying that the program is in place, to give training and awareness to the airport managers, to the employees, to the pilots, to the aircraft owners on how one can make the airport more safe, and to encourage these airports to participate in the program. And the components of this is primarily awareness. The concept is the general aviation community is a family community, and most people fly out of a certain airport, that's where their aircraft is housed. So they know what's normal. They know who belongs there. They know who doesn't belong there. So the concept is that if you see something unusual, you're going to probably notice it. So it's that whole awareness. If there's a crime taking place, it's an obvious crime, then you would call 911. But if there was something just suspicious or didn't seem right, you should contact the airport manager. And then there was also a toll-free number established with AOPA and the Transportation and Security Administration, GA Secure, that could be called to alert them to that suspicious activity as an intelligence source. The other aspect of the Airport Watch program is the physical security, where they're encouraging airports to voluntarily take part in physical security improvements such as fencing, signage, lights, card access, intrusion detection systems, and also protection for the aircraft, such as keeping the doors locked, securing the keys, prop locks, throttle locks, and make sure that hangars that have doors are locked and secured. So that's really what the AOP Airport program is, being aware and providing as much physical security that is possible at that particular airport.
So what does it take to establish an effective Airport Watch program?
Well, the key factor is that you want to do it. I did a study, which we'll talk about a little bit later, of the general aviation airports in Pennsylvania, and a little under half did not even adopt the AOP Airport Watch program. So there has to be the willingness to understand and realize that there is a threat and that you should be active. So that's the key factor, to want to do it. And then you set about doing that by, posting the signs, having some meetings, the training and awareness, and looking at ways that you can improve physical security, perhaps budgeting money for that, looking for grants or looking for donations. But the key factor is the willingness for the general aviation community to do this. If we're not proactive and do this ourselves, then at some point the federal government or state governments could come in and mandate security requirements that a lot of GA airports
Absolutely not. Well, you mentioned your study, and I have to say I found it quite compelling. Would you share with us the results of your study?
Yeah, the study was quite surprising to me as well. What I did, I studied the general aviation airports in Pennsylvania. These are all airports that had no commercial activity. And I looked at those who adopted the Airport Watch program and those who did not. And a little under half did not even adopt the program. And I looked at the ones that did adopt it and didn't adopt it and what the crime rate was. And I looked at crimes against people. This would be like assaults or rape, murder, things of this nature. I looked at crimes against aircraft, what could be aircraft theft or theft of avionics, or hijacking. I looked at theft against the airport or fixed-base operation. And what I found was that those airports that adopted the Airport Watch program had a significant reduction in crime. And those that did not, their crime actually went up. And with that said, the crime was not that high. There was no serious crimes, primarily vandalism and some assaults and things of that nature. But those who adopted the program, there was a significant drop in crime at those airports.
Well, so clearly there's a dividend to be earned from just a small amount of vigilance.
Yeah, and you know, it's a really nice proactive program, and it shows that the aviation community is involved, and they care about the safety of their airport, the people that visit there, and also improving and maintaining general aviation. And that's a key factor. And it's been successful in that the TSA has done some studies since then, and because the effectiveness of the AOP, Airport Watch program, and the reduced crimes at a lot of the airports, they have not come in with mandates at this point to require various security demands on the airports. The only restrictions that came in or regulations that came in were those covering the flight operations with regards to securing keys and doing background checks on individuals and things of that nature.
Well, I want to thank you very much for sharing your study with us. I think it puts a flag in the sand out there in terms of at least a place to begin with for folks who don't quite know what to do in terms of improving security at their airport. But the Airport Watch program is something that is proven, and your study shows it.
Yeah, I think it's a really excellent program that the AOPA put together, and there's going to actually be a complete copy of my study in a new book that I have coming out. So individuals could look at the actual data in that research.
Tell us about your book. This is a textbook, isn't it?
Yes, I just finished writing a book on general aviation security, protection of airports, hangars, fixed-base operations. It's through CRC Press and will be out in July of this year. And it is a textbook, but it's designed for universities, for fixed-base operators, airports, for pilots, for aircraft owners. It's a comprehensive guide on protecting general aviation security. And one of the appendixes is my actual study on the AOPA Airport Watch program. But I go through each area of general aviation security, what are the threats against those areas, and how can we provide protection in each area. Aircraft, hangars, fixed-base operators, flight schools, or the airport itself.
You know, I've read some books from other authors concerning aviation security, but, you know, in those other books, it's always been just a very small, almost an appendix that's been paid to general aviation, when in fact general aviation at any given time accounts for 75% of the aircraft in the air.
Absolutely. Well, what was surprising to me when I decided to do the book, there's really nothing out there on general aviation security. There are several great textbooks on airport and commercial aviation security, and as you stated, they might have one small chapter on GA, but there's just nothing else out there. So the goal is to provide a resource that people can go to improve the security for general aviation.
Well, I look forward to its coming out and to having an opportunity to read it, and thank you very much for being in the magazine and taking your time to be here on the CD.
Well, thank you, and also for your efforts in promoting GA security with your publications and your writings and all that you do. That's just fantastic.
Thank you again, Dr. Benny.
Take care.